Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again from Drone Valley. Today is an incredibly exciting day for me because of these two boxes in front of me that were just delivered by DJI with their brand new Mavic Air and their Mavic Air Fly More combination. I cannot wait to rip open these boxes and start playing with the cool technology inside. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, well, gee, Rick, why are you getting so excited over these new quads? Weren't you guys at the show a couple of weeks ago when DJI announced these products, and didn't you get a chance to see them there and play with them a little bit and fly them around the room? And the honest answer is we were there as a company, but I never made it there in person. I actually took a really bad spill in some ice just after we got home from CES, twisted my knee bad enough where I couldn't walk on it. I couldn't go to the show. And it was killing me because imagine a nerd like me being invited to an event like that and not being able to attend it. So the guys at DJI were great enough to let my son go in my place. He's an engineering student. He works on the channel with us. He flies a lot of different quads. So he was over the moon being able to attend that event in our place. And he took a lot of video footage and talked to a few people there and actually played with the product quite a bit. And it's killing me to have him come back from that show and explain to me how cool that product was and everything it could do. And he wouldn't shut up about it for the last 2 weeks. So I've not actually held this product yet. And it's taken a Herculean effort of self-control on my part to not have already ripped open these boxes and had this thing up in the air. But I thought before I do that, let me just sit down calmly and do an unboxing of both these products and explain exactly what you get when you buy this product. Now, I know a lot of guys got these early. We weren't one of the 100 channels that got one as an advanced model. We got it, when everybody else got it. I ordered it the same day it was announced at the show, just arrived today. But I see a lot of those unboxing videos, or they basically just open up the box, pull out the parts, and say, here's what you get. And I don't want to do that. I want to spend a little bit more time, like I do every time, explaining when you buy the product, what all the bits and pieces inside the box do, how you use them with the product. So it'll be a little bit longer of an unboxing video. It'll be first with the regular unit, the standard unit, and then I'll unbox the Fly More combination. I'll do a separate clip that explains what you get if you go with the Fly More combination, because a lot of people have asked me, $7.99, I think it's $9.99, why would I spend $200 more for this? There's a whole lot more stuff inside this box that's worth way more than the $200 difference in price. So look for another clip explaining that. But for now, I'm going to tear these two guys open, go through a brief explanation of all the parts and how they work, and then I'll come back at the end and do some conclusions around the product. And again, I haven't seen it, so expect me to be giddy with excitement when I pop this thing open, because I love flying these products, and from everything I've seen and everything I've heard from my son, who again would not shut up about it for 2 weeks, I just can't wait to get this thing up in the air, and I know you guys are going to enjoy this. So stay tuned and I'll do the unboxing. I'll start with an unboxing of the standard Mavic Air package, which is the one that retails for $7.99 on the DJI website. Now, as I go through this, I'll pull all the bits and pieces out and explain kind of how they go together and how you use them. And I promise you I'll do follow-on clips that go into a lot more detail around the technology. But for now, let's get into the box. Man, I'm excited about this. So, put this away so I don't cut myself. So the box itself, pretty standard box from DJI. They've got the image of the product on the front. On the back, another image of the product. Here's all the certifications and specifications about the technology, all the approvals they've gotten, and a few other things. There's a barcode there. I'll scan that later and see what that's all about. So inside the box, when you first open it up, right on the top, looks like the quad. Now, I don't know if that's the quad or not, because that is mighty tiny. No, that's heavy. That's the quad. So again, before I even open this thing up, because I'm going to go nuts once I open this thing up, the case itself is really well designed. And one thing I like about DJI that a lot of other manufacturers miss is when they sell you a quad, it typically comes packaged in something that you can use to carry it around. Now, if you bought a Phantom or a Mavic product before, those packages came with like styrofoam cases you could hold them in. The Spark did the same. This is actually a really nice, looks like a neoprene case that I assume holds the quad. So let's open this guy up and take a look. Man, I'm so excited about this. Here we go. Oh man, this is tiny. This is so small. So it's hard to get a feel for this when you look at it on the website, when you see people holding it, but it's really the size of my hand. It's about the size of a can of soda, and it folds up so neat. It's so aerodynamic and so sexy. I probably shouldn't say that, but man, oh man. So if I compare this to the Mavic, oh, another thing, they've got, look at the molding in the bottom. So it's got a place for you to actually put it in there a certain way. So it nestles down inside that case nice and tight. When you close it up, it's totally protected. There's no shaking or rattling inside there. So for me, folding this thing up and throwing it in my suitcase, I don't even have to think about it. It takes up about the same size as a pair of shoes, or even one shoe if you got a big foot. But man, oh man, what a cool quad. Oh man, I can't wait to get this thing out this afternoon and start flying it. All right, so the quad itself, it looks like at first glance that you can unfold this a couple of different ways, but right off the bat I can see that the side legs or the bottom legs fold up underneath the propeller. So if I try to unfold that propeller first, it's going to snap across that leg. So my suspicion is I go down first, like that, with the back, and then I pull out the sides. Oh man, that has got such a, again, I can't convey what a professional build this is, but there's nothing flimsy or toy-like about it. When those arms pull out, they're rock solid. The engineering behind this, there's no wiggle, no vibration. Like this is, again, I've compared them before to Swiss watches. This thing is built to last, and it's built to fly. This thing is gorgeous. Man, oh man. And again, I fly the Mavic and the Phantoms and the Inspires and the Spark and a ton of other quads, but wow, wow, wow. All right, so I'll quit gushing in a second. Just give me a minute to sort of absorb this because I haven't seen it before. So I got optical sensors on the back, 2 optical sensors on the front. I've got optical sensors underneath, and it looks like infrared sensors, or at least IR sensors, or I should say infrared sensors or sound acoustic sensors on the bottom. So that's your 3 protections for crash avoidance, front, back, and bottom. But man, is this thing beautiful. And what I like so much about it, there's a million things I like about it at first glance, but what I like so much about it is it's unlike anything they've built before. So I've got a Mavic over here. Let me pull that out. So side by side, let me fold it up just so I can get a feel for how big it is. Sorry if I'm taking extra time here. I'm really, really enjoying this. So let me fold this guy up real quick. I want to break something here. So all right, side by side, here's your Mavic Pro, and here's your brand new Mavic Air. It's incredible how small it is compared to the other guy. It's I'd say a third or maybe almost a half as shallow. It's 25% smaller this way. It's thinner this way, and weight-wise, man, oh man, this is light. I mean, Air is the right name for it. Now, I know people have debated, should it be a Mavic? Should it be called a Spark on steroids? I don't care what you call it. I can't wait to get this thing out and start flying it. All right, so let's get the Mavic out of the way and see what else comes in the box. All right, so I'm just color me suitably impressed already. And again, I'll get some time to get this thing up in the air in a little bit. All right, so inside the box, there's another box. So it's a box inside a box. I'll set that aside. And then in the bottom is the remote, which should be pretty familiar to you. That's a remote that looks very similar to the Mavic and the Spark remote. And then there's another box in the bottom. Let's see if I can get that one out. And that's pretty much it. And there's a silica gel in there to keep the moisture down. So that's pretty much it for the box. So let me get this guy out of the way. Put him over here for now. And then we'll take a look at these 2 boxes. So this was the one that was in the bottom. I'll do that second. This is the one that was on the top. So inside this box, and see if I can get it open without ripping it, is a full set of blades. So you've got a spare set of blades. There's 4 on there. Obviously, you get 4 extras. You get a ton of manuals. And again, I talk about this a lot. A lot of these companies try to really reduce costs by releasing a product and not putting a printed manual in it. Or if they put a printed manual in with the product, it's printed on paper about that big with microscopic printing that old guys like me can't read, so they're useless, and I've got to go on their website and download the PDF. These are full-size manuals. They're about the size of a paperback book, and you get everything you need here. So it talks about what's in the box, quick start guide, which is really important to read, safety guidelines, battery safety guidelines, and then propeller guards, how to install all the accessories. So, you know, again, good on you, DJI, for taking the time to actually print manuals and put them in the box. What else is in here? All right. Okay, there's propeller guards. That's good. Anything else? Looks like we're here to help, so DJI support. So if you need to get a hold of these guys, they talk about the refresh program and the care package, so you can scan this on the back and actually get to their website. And that's pretty much it for stuff inside that box. So let me set that guy aside. Now, one of the things I complained about, and I'm not normally a complainer, but I feel like if you sell me a drone that's expensive, when I say expensive, all drones are expensive, but if you're selling me a drone that's $500 or more, how can you sell me the drone and then tell me I need propeller guards later that I'm going to put on the drone? Like, include them in the package. So I kind of gave them a hard time when the Phantoms came out without propeller guards, and certainly when the Mavic came out and the Spark came out. I complained a lot about the Mavic coming out at a $1,000 drone or $1,100 drone at the time and not having propeller guards. There's propeller guards, so they've actually fixed that. They've also put a really nice carrying case inside, so you don't have to buy this and then go buy a bunch of accessories for it. A lot of the accessories you need are in the box. So the propeller guards seem like they snap on really easy. I'm not gonna, I guess I should probably rip these open and take a look at them since I said I would do that. Let me get them open here. Of course, this is gonna be a little tricky. All right, so they're labeled on how they snap on, and they have a little clip on the bottom that opens up, and they go around the arm. I don't know if you can see that. I'll do a blow up of it, but they go around the arm for the propellers and then snap on. Now, I've talked before about propeller guards. I'm a fan of using propeller guards especially when you first start flying, because you got to get used to how the quad operates and what kind of aerodynamics it has, especially if you're flying outside around trees or bushes or people. Put the propeller guards on. If you're flying indoors, keep those propeller guards on all the time. And I know a lot of people say, oh, the propeller guards change the aerodynamics of the quad. It doesn't look as cool. That's a $1,000 product or an $800 product. In this case, you don't want to crash this thing and have it fall out of the sky and damage the thing day one. You want to make sure that you get good at it. When you're better at flying at it and you feel comfortable with it, you can take the propeller guards off. But if you're flying in the house, I can tell you from personal experience, I've taken out quite a few lamps and a bunch of other cool stuff in the house that I would not have damaged had I had the propeller guards on. So anyway, propeller guards, you use them on the quad when you first start flying it. And you guys will know when you get good enough when you can take them off and get a little cavalier. All right, in the second box, power supply, which right out of the gate has a standard AC cord on the front, 120 volts for the US. I've got two USB connections over here. I don't know what the current readings on those are. I'm assuming they're going to be 2 amp or 2.4 amp. So that's really nice because I can charge the remote on one, I can charge my phone or tablet on the other one. And I've got a custom connector here for the battery on the Mavic Air. Now the battery in the Mavic Air is different than the battery in the Mavic. So it's a little bit smaller. And again, I'll do a separate clip talking through all the specifications. But the way it comes out is there's two little fingers on the side. You slide those back, it pops down and then pulls out. So the back actually clips in here, then falls down and clicks in. Now I know a lot of people are saying, oh, why did they put the battery in the bottom of the Mavic Air? That seems like an incredibly tight connection there for me, so I don't have any worries about it at all falling out. So we'll see how that plays out over time. But the battery itself has got a different connection on the bottom, and as I've done with the other drones that I've reviewed in the past, I'll try and figure out what those connections are, where the voltages are, where the sensing pins are. But the connector on the end of this is custom, pops on the end of this, and you can actually charge the battery directly. Now you can only charge one battery at a time with this. One of the advantages of the Mavic Air Flymore combination is you get a charging hub, which I think you can charge up to 3 batteries at a time. But this seems perfectly fine for me. If I had extra batteries, I would charge one, take it off, charge the next one, and move on. So that's your charging power supply. And what else is in here? Looks like extra joysticks. So let me take a look at the remote real quick. So one thing you'll notice that's different than both the Mavic remotes and the Spark remotes are there are no joysticks on this thing. And I talked about this in the initial clip. DJI is one of those companies, man, where they just are constantly looking at their products and finding ways to improve their products. And they listen to people on the boards, they listen to cranky guys like me that complain about it. And one of the things that they noticed about their original remote controls for the Spark and the Mavic is that those sticks that come up are aluminum. And if you're going to take this with you and you throw it in a bag, there's a chance that those sticks could get pushed up against something hard or roughed up and get bent. And then you can't really do anything with it. You got to replace the remote. So this one has removable joysticks on the top of it, which from what I can tell from the show, actually fit in the bottom of this unit. So let me see if I can get this open without looking too goofy here. There's a little warning sticker. If I open that up, yep, there they are. So on the very bottom of the remote, and again, I don't know if you can see this, I'll try and do a blow up of it. They're actually down here. So you can pull those out, put them on the top. They're not magnetic, you actually screw them in. And again, it's got this professional engineering feel to it. So when I screw those in, that's a really positive connection. And the way they set this up, you couldn't really screw it up with dirt or weeds or anything either. So, you know, it's recessed in there and it tightens up really nicely. So it gives you a real strong feel. So yeah, it's got the same feel as like a Mavic Pro or the Spark product. So there's your remote with the joysticks on it. But the reason I pointed to that was you get 2 extra sticks, it looks like, in here. Let me see if I can find those guys. Yep, there's a box inside there. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought I read that online. So a bunch of connection cables. All right, so first off, here's the AC cable for the power supply. So this for the US, again, is 120 volts, 60 hertz. Plugs into the back of the power supply, plugs into the wall. That's great. Then I've got connection cables here that are used for the handle. So with the handle on the bottom of the remote control, you can put a bunch of different phones in there. And I'm going to test it and see if it actually will take an iPad on there or not. I don't know at this point. It looks like it should because it's about the same size, from what I can tell, eyeballing it, as the Mavic Pro and the Spark, which could take an iPad. So in this case, when you're connecting it up, in this corner, just like on the Mavic Pro and the Spark, you've got a connection that mates up with your phone or your tablet. And obviously there's different styles of phones and tablets out there. So if you've got an Apple product, you've got that 8-pin lightning connector, or should the lightning connector on it. You might have a micro USB connection on it if you've got some of the older Android phones, or you've got this brand new USB-C connection. So they give you all the connections you'll need to make that mate on the side. Now I notice, now I notice on the bottom, it's also got a full-size USB there. So I'm assuming that that's going to be my tether to my remote if I'm not using this. to my tablet, or it might be the tether to the headset, because they do sell this 3 different ways. They sell it as a basic package, they sell it as a Flymore combination, which I'm going to unbox next. Then the third combination is the Flymore with a set of the DJI goggles, and I'm assuming that's how you're going to connect up the goggles. But again, once I get a chance to fly this thing out in the backyard for like 7 days, then I'll do some clips on it and try and show you how you connect up the goggles and how you sync up and everything else. So inside here, it looks like there's a couple of connections. Let's take a real good look. So I've got, let's see real quick. Sorry, it's taking a little while to open this up. The plastic is really formidable. Yes, I was right. It comes with an extra set of those remote control pieces up front. So if you lose one of these guys, there's an extra set of them in the bag. So put those aside, hang on to those, because I guarantee you, if you're spinning these things off all the time and you drop them in the grass, you're going to be looking for that spare set. So it's nice to give you those. Then they also give you another connection here, which looks like a micro USB to USB connection, or USB-C connection. So this connector here is a standard size USB, which we're all familiar with, to a USB-C connection. Now this is the newest version of the USB standard. Everybody's moving to this. So all the new phones have it, a lot of new tablets have it, some of the new computers actually have it, and they give you an adapter here that'll convert that down to a micro USB. So that's nice. They give you the little extra dongle. And again, these are available online if you lose it, but I'm thinking for a company to sit down and say, all right, we're putting this package together, most companies will sit down and say, what can we pull out of the package, and force them to buy later on so we can lower the cost of the package. The fact that they built all this extra stuff in, I've got this USB-C dongle here, I've got a spare set of those joystick pieces over there, the actual propeller guards are built in, they come with the kit, just really shows me that these guys care a lot about their end user customer. One more thing that popped out of that bag that I didn't explain were these two things. These are what I'll call sliding masks that actually hold the connector in the bottom of that controller. So over here, this has to slide a little bit to make your phone connection. There's a little piece, these masks right here, hold it in. So if you've got to change that, again, you might lose that. Isn't it nice to give you an extra spare set of these with you? So overall, that's the package. And again, I know I'm excited here and I'm going through it a little bit quick because I realize the longer I take to explain this, the longer it is before I get a chance to go outside, charge this thing up and fly it. So that's pretty much the basic kit. Now, if you stay tuned, I'll get into the Flymore combination and show you the differences between them. All of this will be in the Flymore combination, but there's a couple of extra things that come with that kit that really make it, I think, a better value if you're looking to buy the Mavic Air. So stay tuned and I'll do the Flymore combination next. Now I'll unbox the Mavic Air Flymore combo. And I know a lot of you guys had questions about whether you should go with the standard model or go with the Flymore combo. And really what it comes down to is your budget. If you can afford it, the Flymore combo is a much better value because there are extra parts inside this thing that you're going to want to buy if you had the standard model anyway. So I think you get 2 extra batteries, you get a charging hub, you get a nice case to carry everything around in. I think there's extra propellers in there. And those aren't things that are just kind of extras that you'll never use. There are things that if you bought the standard package, you're probably going to want to add to your kit over time. So if you can afford this, get it now because you'll save about $100. I think the difference in price is $200. And when I added up all the extra stuff that's in the combo, it's $300. So you're saving about $100 on those accessories. If you can't afford it and you want to just start simple, go with the standard model and you can always add extra batteries and propellers to it later on. So choice is totally yours. But let me get into the box and take a look at it. Now I did buy 2 different colors. I bought a white one, which I unboxed a minute ago. This is the Onyx Black model. And I bought the 2 different colors because I often fly with my kids and that way I can tell for sure which one I'm flying and which one they're flying. If they were both white, I don't know, could get crazy up there in the sky. So let's get into this guy. Man, oh man, this is such a cool day. Opening up 2 of these products in one day. All right, let me get this out of the way so I don't cut myself on all the excitement. All right, so inside the box, right out of the gate, is the carrying case, which it's not black, it's like an off gray, and it's got a really nice feel to it, really nice tactile feel to it. And I'll open that up in a second. We've also got the now familiar case that holds the quad. And again, I cannot get over how small this thing is and how compact it is. I have cases that I use for my remote controls on my Mavic Pro, on my Spark, that honestly feel about this big, which is just a remote. This is the entire drone. So let me put that guy aside. Then I have another big box down this end, which seems like it's giving me a hard time to come out. So let's pull that out. And then there's another box in the bottom, which I think might just be a spacer and some silica gel for, again, moisture protection. So let's get this guy folded up and out of the way. Then we'll take a look at some of these products. And there's that. This, I think, is completely empty, but let me open it up just to make sure I'm not missing something important in here. And then they'll say, Rick, you didn't look at the box. No, it's empty. Okay, good. So that was just basically to hold everything up off the ground. This one has some stuff in it. So let's pop this guy open and see what's in here. This looks like interesting stuff. There's some pictures on the end here. Let's see. Let me open this guy up. All right, so manuals. I talked about those in the first clip. I'm a huge fan of manuals, and I don't want to belabor the point, but for me to sit down with a cup of coffee and go through these manuals to understand exactly what this quad can do, the features, the functions, the safety aspects of it, really allows me to enjoy it a lot more. And if you're like me, you tend to want to get new tech, charge it up, go outside and fly it. You're not going to get the full experience. So maybe do that the first time, which is exactly what I'm going to do this afternoon because I've flown a lot of these quads. But tonight I'm going to sit down with a cup of coffee and go through these so I understand what all the new shooting modes are and how it flies and all the autonomous flight, how the sensors work, how to charge the batteries, how to be safe about that. And I guarantee I'll be doing clips and all that stuff. So read the manuals, and when I do the clips, you can call shenanigans on me if I make something up. All right, so inside there are the prop guards, and that's pretty much it, except for the Contact DJI support card, which tells you how to get a hold of them. So if you put this thing in the air, if you have any questions or problems, I think they're doing an excellent job of improving their customer support. I know it's the one thing that people complain about a lot. Gee, I had problems, I couldn't get a hold of them. It's a big company, and they're exploding in size, so you got to give them a little bit of leeway. The fact that they're including this in there is a brave move on their part because it's saying, we care about you, you bought our product, please get in touch with us if you're having issues. So check that card out. The prop guards I talked about in the first clip, this is something that I gave them a really hard time about because even some of the less expensive quads that were sub $100 came with snap-on prop guards, and for a while they didn't actually include them. So if you bought a Phantom product, no prop guards. Mavic product, no prop guards. Spark came with prop guards. So the fact that they're including this, that's great. I really appreciate the fact that they listen to their fans and respond in kind, which is great. All right, so let's look at the quad first, and I'll look inside the case because really it's all about the quad. So I opened the other one before, it was white. This is Onyx Black, and I'm going to show it to you before I take a look at it because I might scream when I see it. What's it look like? You like it? Looks pretty good? Oh man, is it cool? It's so cool. So it's the same, obviously the same size as the white one, but something about that Onyx Black just, it reminds me of the Mavic, like the Mavic's little brother. So here's the Mavic compared to it. And again, it's tiny. It's so tiny compared to the Mavic. And it blows my mind that they can pack so much technology inside this thing. It's like the space shuttle as far as what it can do. It's got GPS coordination, telemetry information. It's got video recording capabilities. It can fly 2.5 miles, and it fits into a package about the size of my sneaker. So, you know, good on you, DJI. I mean, it's a wonderful time to be alive and an amazing time to be in this hobby. So, all right, there's the Onyx Black product. Let me open this guy up. And again, the way you open this is your tendency would be to pull these top ones out first, but don't do that. Lower the bottom ones first. So gently lower the bottom ones like this. They'll swing down underneath. Then you can pop open the top and they'll pop out that way. Don't forget to drop the antennas. So the actual Wi-Fi antennas are on the side, because if not, it's going to lay on its belly. But worse, the antennas aren't going to be polarized the right way. You want to make sure that you've got them in opposing vertical positions like this, so they're actually providing plenty of Wi-Fi signal out from the quad. There's the quad. So let me put that aside. There's the prop guards. Then I'll open up this guy, which is the actual carrying case. Now again, they've done a great job with this. There's a side flap over here where you can put some things. Looks like a zipper pocket on the outside. That'd be a great place to put all your extra blades and cables and stuff you're carrying with me. Okay, so inside I've got another box. I've got battery over here. Oh, remote control, sorry, I thought it was a battery. And then there's 2 batteries in the bottom. So it's actually formed with foam where dividers are in there for the charger, I should say the charging hub. Looks like the charger, yep, that fits in there as well. The charging hub and 2 extra batteries. So this unit actually comes with 1 battery in the quad, 2 extra batteries. Now these batteries are like 80 bucks a piece. So there's 160 bucks right there, which almost makes up for the entire cost of the upgrade of the package. There's the AC cord to plug in the charger. Now, the charger itself has a standard 120 volt, in this case, 120 volts on this end, you plug into the wall. This has got a custom connection that connects up to the batteries to charge them one at a time individually, and it's got 2 USB connections on the end, and I don't know the current rating on those. I'm assuming they're like 2 amp or 2.4 amp. I'll do another clip that goes through all these painful details, but know that you can charge your phone and the remote control off the end at the same time you're charging a single battery. Now, if you bought the standard kit, that's where it ends. But if you buy this kit, the actual Fly More combo, you get this baby. And this is a charging hub, which allows you to charge 2 batteries at a time on the side. So you can actually pop 2 batteries up here, connect up the charger to it, and simultaneously charge 2 batteries. Now again, I haven't played with this thing. I'm not sure if it's going to charge them simultaneously or like it did with the Mavic, charge one and then charge the second. My suspicion is That charger is designed to handle one battery at a time, so I would suspect, and again I'll verify this, that it'll charge the most charged battery, the least depleted battery first that you connect up here, and that way it gets you back up in the air quickly to fly, and then it'll charge the one that needs the most time on the charger. So really nice that it's with you. I also like the fact that they built this thing to be portable, so they're thinking this through, that they don't have big jagged connections hanging out. They're going to get caught on fuzz and everything. It's got a nice little closing top there, so you slide it in your package and you're off and running. Let me make sure there's nothing else inside here, because I could have sworn there was one more piece that I'm missing, and I may be wrong on that. Oh, there's another box. Okay, let me get into that box, because I'm thinking, man, there's some propellers missing, and there's supposed to be an AC adapter. So let's put this guy over here. I'm going to take a risk and put this guy in the top of it. Hopefully it won't go flying. Don't fly. All right, good. Then the last thing is this box. So let's get a look in there. So there's the charging hub. Now this box has got a lot of goodies in it. So, okay, that's empty. All right, so I've got 2 extra full sets of propellers. So I've got the 4 that are on there, 1 more set of replacements and 1 more set of replacements. The unit that came, the single unit only had 2 sets of propellers spare, so you got 1. Here you get actually 2, which is nice. I get a connection cable for the back of the quad. I didn't talk about this in the other unboxing, but on the back here, just like on the Spark, is a little flap that opens up, and there's a USB-C connection, and that's where you actually plug in your memory card as well. So that's the back. And this cable can be used to transfer the photos from the actual quad to your computer, and it can also, I believe, be used to charge the battery. And I'm going to verify that, because on the Spark you can charge the battery that's in the quad. So wouldn't it be cool if I had the hub connected up, charging those 2 batteries, and had one of the USBs going to the quad charging that 3rd battery? So again, I've got to test all this stuff, so don't call shenanigans on me until I get a chance to play with it, because I'm just opening the box. All right, this is the piece I was looking for. So again, another genius move. I'm carrying around a large LiPo battery with me, and my phone may be dying, or the controller needs charging, or some other thing that I want to charge over USB. So how cool that I can take a battery that's partially depleted, connect this guy up, and I'm sure I'm going to screw this up, but connect this guy up to it. All right, make a liar out of me here. Maybe it goes on this way. Nope, maybe it goes on this way. It's only 4 ways it can go on, Rick. Come on, figure it out. All right, there you go. So it connects up to your battery, and it allows you to use whatever's left, whatever juice is left in this battery, to charge something over a USB connection. So again, I just love the way these guys are creative about the way they put things together. This could be an aftermarket product that would run you 35, 40 bucks. And I've used these on my Mavic products, on my Phantom products in the field, and they just work great. So at the end of the day, when I've got a phone that's down to 12% and I really want to fly a little longer, having one of the batteries that I've flown down to maybe 25% has plenty of current left in it to trickle charge my phone while I'm actually flying, or if it's sitting on the side, I can charge my wife's phone. So really good on you guys for that. So that's another thing you get in the Flymore combination that doesn't come with the standard product. I talked about these before. Inside the remote control, which I haven't spent a lot of time talking about yet, inside the remote control in the handles, when you connect up your phone, you'll see an edge connector here. And this connector is the one that actually you plug your phone into and then close up the handles on your phone. But there's a couple of different styles of phones out there. So there are basically 3 connections to your phone. There's the Lightning connection for anything Apple. There's a micro USB connection, which is the standard connection for most phones up until about 2 years ago. And the new standard is called USB-C, which is this cable as well. So the drone is USB-C, and you can also install a USB-C connection in here. So if you have one of the newer phones, you're going to use that USB-C connection, but they give you all 3. So if you've got whatever phone you've got, you can actually connect it up in here, or a tablet if it fits in the handles. And they've also included 2 extra what I'll call masks that actually hold this in place. So you've got one in there now that holds it in the handle and allows it to slide up and down so you can connect your phone up to it. You're going to lose that, I guarantee it. If you pull that cable out of there, it's going to go popping off and flying into the grass. You're never going to find it again. So how good that they included extra ones here. You lose those, shame on you. You can get online and order a couple more of them. They also include a couple of extra fingers, or I should say joysticks, for the top of this controller, because one other thing you'll notice right away is the controller has no joysticks on it. And I talked about this in a previous clip. They've realized that having a joystick sticking up like this, throwing this in a bag, those joysticks are going to get bent over time. So we actually sold accessories that popped on the top to protect those joysticks. Now they made them removable. And they not only made them removable because you'd lose them, they actually built a spot in the handles where you can snap those joystick sticks down in the handles. So to use this, you'll pull those joystick handles out, put them on, and screw them on nice and tight. So when you're ready to fly, it takes you an extra 10 seconds to do that, and you've got the joysticks you've come to know and love. When you're done for the day, you unscrew them, put them back in the handles, fold them up, and you've got a nice flat surface that's not going to get damaged. Now, I don't know yet if I'll unscrew them every time. I may leave them on and use one of those joystick protectors, because I like the fact that they're on there and I'm not going to lose them, because again, if it's small like that, I'm sure it's going to pop off and fall in the grass someplace and I'm not going to find it. But again, thank you DJI for including an extra set of those joysticks, knowing that old guys like me are going to be goofy, drop the thing in the grass and need those joysticks, then I can't fly without them. So that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for the kit for the Fly More combination. And I went through this pretty quickly, but it's because I want to get outside and fly this thing. That's the God's honest truth. I just can't wait to get this thing up in the air. I have so many things I want to test on it. You guys have asked me a million questions. I'm going to do my best over the next 2 weeks to do nothing but fly this thing like crazy. I'm probably going to fly through 3 or 4 batteries tonight down in the basement in the workshop, just getting a feel for the thing. I'll have some video footage outside and I'll do comparisons on the video, the telemetry, the range, the crash avoidance, all the stuff that you guys care about over the next couple of weeks. I won't do exclusively Mavic Air clips. There's a lot of other cool stuff going on with a ton of other quads and other tech, so I'll blend those in as well. But this is a focus right now because it's the hottest thing on the planet. Everybody that's seen this, my friends and family that have asked me about buying a quad, have said, what about that Mavic Air? And man, is this thing cool. It feels like it fits a sweet spot for me that other quads just don't fit. And I love the Mavic, and I'm going to fly that Mavic like crazy as well. But for me, the portability of this thing, the size of it, just the sleekness of it, the range is perfect. 2.5 miles is more than far enough for me to fly this thing. Don't forget to fold those antennas in before you fold it up. 2.5 miles on this thing is plenty far for me to fly. And having a quad this small that literally will fit in my pocket. If you guys saw the launch event, Michael Perry had 3 of these in his jacket, and it really is that small. It's an afterthought to bring the thing along. Something this small would fit in my suitcase. I wouldn't even give it a second thought. So this thing is going to be with me everywhere. And if I'm going out to fly for the day and I've got a planned mission, I might take the Mavic or the Phantom with me. But other than that, unless this thing is really horrible, which I can't imagine it will be, this is going to be my quad of choice, especially when I'm traveling. So make sure if you haven't subscribed to the channel that you do that now, because we're going to have a ton of clips about the Mavic Air and a bunch of other tech coming up. So anyway, that's pretty much it for me. I can't really offer an opinion on this because I haven't flown it yet, but all the specifications I've seen and based on my history of reviewing other DJI products, I really think they've got a home run on their hands. And as I said in the initial clip that I did on this thing, if you're thinking of getting into quads and you've got the budget for it and you're looking for a quad that does everything you want it to do, this is the guy to own at this point. And again, pay attention to the channel over the next couple of weeks, because if I find horrible things about this, I'll let you know about that as well. But I can't imagine that to be the case, because I've been delighted with pretty much every quad I've flown from this company. I don't expect this to be any different. So thanks to all for watching. And again, stay tuned to the channel. I got a lot of stuff coming. But for now, that's pretty much it. So thanks again. We'll see you soon. And until next time, happy flying.